Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is Animal Alliance Asia, and there are a couple ways you can help me, help them, help the animals. One, visit their website. I've posted a link in the chat. There's also a link in my Twitch description and in the YouTube description if you're watching this as a recording later. Go there and make a donation and learn more about them and how they're helping animals. You can also simply watch my streams and bring your friends, because I'll be making my own donation at the end of the month based on my unique viewers count. Today is Thursday, which means it's time for more illustration, and I feel this illustration has become even more relevant because today is the first day of astronomical spring. Happy spring, everyone! Happy autumn for everybody in the southern hemisphere. So all the bees coming out, flowers blooming, that's just, I don't think there's anything more representative of spring than that. So I'm going to get a little drink of water. And let's get started. We're just going to resume where we were yesterday. There's quite a bit of inking left to do, but hopefully we can at least get it done today, and then that way I can send this as Patreon rewards for this month. So last time I had chosen this micron pen from my set here to be an in-between size of these two fine liners, different brands that I have in my sketch kit. So I need something not quite as small as this Zig Memory System Millennium pen, but not as big as this Winsor & Newton 0.8 millimeter fine liner. So this 05 Sakura Pigma is about that size. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm adjusting my monitor over here. I couldn't quite see it. It wasn't facing me as nicely as it could. Let's do it again. There. Okay, we're going to jump right in with what looks like the next smallest bee. We've been going from big to small. And I just need to remember to make these fuzzy wuzzy. So we're not going to have as much brush effect. And by brush effect in this case, I mean a big difference between the beginning and ends of lines, being able to have that really interesting change in line weight. It's not really going to happen as much with these fine liner style pens. But that's alright, because it's getting so small that even if I have those kind of changes, they might be distracting instead of supportive of the overall environment. And we shall use this itty bitty Millennium pen for the antenna. I might even go smaller. I have an even smaller micron pen for the really super teeny tiny bees in this scene. All right, who's the next smallest? This one and this one seem about the same size. So we'll do these two next. Then we'll probably go down even further in size. Maybe I'll just go to this for the rest, but we'll see. For now, let's do this bee. this bee? You can see the head. Smooth head. And a teeny tiny little antenna. There was one more bee, this one, that I thought I'd do with this size pen. Of course, these wings, I want to use a really nice, delicate pen. So I might actually go to that super teeny tiny size I was telling you about, 003 in the micron line. This one is 005, and yesterday we compared and it was equivalent. It seemed by looking at them side by side that this is equivalent to the micron size 005. So my 003 must be smaller. But first we'll start with this fuzzy shoulder area where the wings come out. Give me a second. My Twitch Stream Manager never did start showing my stream. I want to make sure it's actually going. Alright, it is. That's weird. It still said offline even though OBS, so I have Twitch here so I can see what's coming out. OBS over here so I can see what's going in. OBS said that I was streaming. And indeed I am. It's on. It just didn't update for some reason. Okay, now we're going to switch to this teeny tiniest pen that I have. And this is a new size to me. It didn't used to exist. Here I purposefully kept the amount of detail to a minimum because the bee is so small that with the human eye we probably wouldn't be able to see that much detail anyway. Oh, Sarah made it. Hello, Sarah. Thank you for joining me again today with the army of rangers coming in. Whee! How are you? Yay, I'm so glad you could make it. As you can tell, we are just working on more of these bees. I'm hoping to get this piece finished today. That would be ideal. Then I can send it to you and everyone else as Patreon rewards for the month. But of course, as always, I'm not rushing. We're just going to see where we can get today. Oh, wait, what am I doing? There's one more line I can do with this head. This size, which is the head here. Whee! Got the bee's head. And we'll use this teeny tiny 003 again for the antenna. Now we're at the point where I'm not really going to draw tons of details on the antenna because it's just so small that it'll just get muddy. Okay. The remaining bees are even smaller than these ones. So I'm going to go down, let's see, what's in between 05 and 005? Looks like 02. Because here's 05, here's 005, so 02 is in the middle. Go 02. Next smallest bee looks like this one, followed by this one. It is still nice since yesterday. I have a sort of system in place now of how I tackle each bee. Here I've got to be a little bit careful because we've got a little bit of this flower sticking over the top here. Next smallest. I'm gonna have to decide what to do about the flowers too. Definitely want to do the same thing where we're inking big to small. I think this is the next one. And then we've only got 2 left that I can see. They're getting hard to see because the black is such a big contrast against the blue. But I'm pretty sure there's only 3 total left. This one's also being crossed over by a piece of flower, so we're going to be careful about that. So we can always add more lines if it's not enough, but it's a little harder to take the lines away. It's not impossible. Not the end of the world if we forget. Because next step is digitize, and we're going to have all the color and the sound effects and the speech bubbles will be added digitally. So it's not too stressful, but it's better to save myself some time and not have to fix things. Let me bring my main camera down so you can see this smaller stuff better. This is as low as it gets. This is as close as it gets. I think I'm gonna go even smaller for this. Shall I just use the double O? I could do a 1 though. Let's do a 1. We have it. Let's use it. Why not? There's no rules. I can do what I want. What I want. Let's use the size 1. By using a larger pen, it allows me to keep the comparison, the contrast between sizes. So we'll use this 003 again. For these wings, and these wings don't even have any of the detail on them at all. They're just so small. Yeah, there's legs to be drawn on this one. Are there legs on this one and I missed it? No. We don't have any legs on that one. Okay, good. Good, I didn't miss it. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the 003, my teeny tiniest pen. For the antenna and little itty bitty legs, so small. Man, I can't even tell what I drew here. I think that's, and then that. I can't tell. So tiny, but I think that's how I meant it to be. My paper always wants to slide down because this desk is at an angle. All right, last B. I think for this one I shall use the 005. And then I can use the 003 for the antenna. Get that 003. I feel excited about the prospect of finishing the physical media for this piece. But then I still feel kind of overwhelmed when I remember how much is left to do with digital media. There's lots to do. So done with a step, but not done with, probably not even halfway done with the piece as a whole. But that finishes all the B's. Of course, once I'm done with the initial round of inking, I do want to go through and add any extra bits. But I'll think about whether I want to do that with physical media or if I just want to do that when I digitize it, because I always change stuff up anyway once I take it to that point. So might save me some materials to just do it since it's going to be in there getting worked on anyway. But now it's time to work on the flowers. I don't want them to compete with the bees, but I want them to integrate into the scene so that they don't feel separate, so that the bees and the flowers don't feel separate. I'm also thinking about using a brush pen on these really delicate tube-like flowers. Everything until now in this series, I've done 7 others so far. I think this is number 8 in this series of illustrations. Everything else has been completely brush pen plus whatever changes I make in Photoshop. This is the first time I've used any, I think, fine liner pens. So I'm trying to ensure that it still feels like part of the same world of illustrations. If I use fine liner pens for all these flowers, I'm asking myself whether that will take away from this piece's ability to fit in with all the existing pieces. Because I also must consider what options I have here in my margin for brush pens. I definitely don't want to use these biggest ones. No way. They're just way too thick to get these nice delicate lines. The Kuretake also seems like a bit too much for how much is going on. Here, I'll bring this down. Maybe you can actually see it. How much is going on here in this flower? This thick of a line, I think it would be too much. It will just have this big black hole of ink. So I think maybe this one is my answer, and this is the smallest brush pen I have. I think. Will it really look that much different? Yeah, I'm not sure. That's why I'm thinking about it. Thinking out loud about it. I guess I could let's look together. We can look at it together. I'm going to bring my mouse over to my... Well, should I look at the... Oh, I know. I won't bring my mouse over. I was going to look at the finished pieces, but I'll actually just get the ink drawings out, the physical ink drawings out, instead of the finished digital pieces. Let's have a look at those. I don't think I've drawn flowers in any of these yet, so it might be okay from that perspective. So the cats, here's the cats. So I used brush pen for everything, including the background, all these little lines here. But I had a different set of brush pens and they ran out, so I couldn't use them anymore. So that's why I'm struggling a little bit, because I'm not using the same materials. And then, so that one didn't have tons of detail like this one either. Here's the frogs. We do have plant life in this scene, but it's just lily pads. Let me bring this bigger, higher. So this is the frogs. Plant life, but no flowers. But I did the same here. I used brush pen, even on these big outlines. You're putting emoji in for all these. All right, are you ready? Here comes the crows. This one also has plant life, but it's a tree. A big, gnarled, barky tree. I actually really love how this brush pen came out on the tree. I think it looks awesome. I think it really lends itself to the tree, because the kind of trees I'm thinking of is like in my backyard and has these big old chunks of bark. And they come off in big, huge pieces like a foot long. And having the brush pen for that really is just perfect. It's perfect for depicting that kind of tree. I do see some areas where maybe I used a fine liner, but I think maybe I was just very, very careful with the brush pen. Alright. Yes, tree bark has a lot more texture than flowers. Flowers are extremely delicate. Oh, there's a pet hair in my folder. Alright, the mice, they also have, and they have probably the most amount of plant life next to this scene. Once again, all brush pen, and you can see, oh, and look, one fine liner, one teeny tiny fine liner, because on this one I actually put the reference sizes in the margin. But here I have lots of leaves and moss, and also dirt. The entire scene is full. And I do really love how the brush creates that line weight change. You got the mice in there. The crows too. That's so cute that you're doing that. Okay, here's the next one. Owls. This one has no plant life and no background elements drawn with ink whatsoever, so it's not really a good one to compare it to. I also had an extra bird that I drew for here. Or I think I moved this one down and added one. I added another one in somewhere. I don't remember. And I also don't remember where I drew that, where that drawing is. I drew the other one. Maybe I just drew it digitally. I don't remember. Alright, this is the last one from when I was working on this in university. The dogs, no flowers. We do have blankets. I was using that set of brush pens, and then a PN stands for Sakura Micron PN, or Sakura Pigma PN. Either way, it's a fine liner pen for the tiny details. Okay, it's good to know that this is not the first one where I've been using them, so I don't feel quite as bad. Not bad. Bad's not a good descriptor. Unsure. That's a good descriptor. Copy, flip, paste. I wonder if I did that. Maybe I did. I don't think I did, though. I'm pretty sure I drew a whole nother one. Okay, this is the last one I finished. When did I do this? I think it was a couple of years ago, actually. I don't think I finished one last year. This one has lots of plant life, grass, and trees. And wonderfully, okay, so I don't need to worry about it so much. I clearly used fine liner for these blades of grass. And definitely for the trees in the background. There is no doubt that that is a fine liner pen and not a brush pen. So, yay! I'm good. I'm glad that I looked at this. And you found emojis for everyone. Yay! All the animals I've done so far have emojis. I wonder if the other ones I plan to do have emojis. Did I write them down in here? I think I did. This is my notebook for this project. Here we go. Originally, I planned to do 8 animals in 2023. That did not happen. I got 1 done. So B, that's what I'm working on next. After that is pig, rooster, horse, duck, fox, and sheep. Those are the next ones that I had planned. That's why I have this sticky note here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of those have emoji. Wouldn't be able to do this on the PC. Really? I have the same emoji on my PC. I have the Windows emoji shortcut enabled. I love it. It's like Windows key period, and then it just brings up the emoji menu. It doesn't have everything, though. It doesn't have the country flags in it, which is weird, but has most of them. Okay, I'm putting that back. Alright, I feel much more confident about how I'm going to approach these flowers. I'm not going to use brush pen because I wanted it to stay more delicate, and using brush pen, as you can see, it can get really heavy. It can be really thin, but it can also be really thick from the same pen. That's the beauty and also the difficulty of brush pens and brush inking in general. You can use a traditional paintbrush and dip it in the ink. But now I feel better going forward, so I'm actually just going to put all of this stuff away in my sketch kit, and I will, well, I'm kind of considering just taking these out because there's such different sizes, and I always have this, and this has all of these sizes and more. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, and then I won't be confused by it anymore. Or frustrated by this one's gigantic and this one's minuscule and there's nothing in between. Okay, so give me a second. I want to organize my space. So I'm going to use these, which means I want them to be out. I'll tuck everything back into its respective spot in this pen rack, so my desk is neater. And then, before I move forward, I'm going to put these away in my storage case. Really helps me to not have clutter, even if the clutter is just 2 pens. So let's see. Here's the Millennium 05. So I'll put this together so that these 2 types of pen are together. So Millennium 005 and Millennium 5. That's a zig. And then do I have any other Winsor and Newton in here? No? Well, I'll just pop this pen in this empty slot. There. Yay. Just found this Graphic 2 pen on my desk to my side over here. Caught my eye because it's the same. Yeah, this one's still perfectly good. It just doesn't fit in this because there's no spaces left. I'm gonna put this in my sketch kit. Yay! Haha! Wow! It was just sitting there. I have this huge pile of junk over here. I give you a little sneak peek in the tertiary camera. Yeah, look at that mess. It's like 3 feet tall. Don't look at it anymore. Stop looking at that. I plan to get it tidied up. I got my floor tidied up during my last rest week. So during my next rest week, I'm tackling this. This is one of the biggest projects. There's probably all kinds of perfectly good pens stranded, marooned on that table. And then I'll be able to use it. Ooh, that'll be exciting. It's actually meant to be a huge light table. It's a glass top table, but there's a little shelf underneath, and I have 4 lamps under there, long, short, thin lamps, so that I can trace by turning those lamps on, and then I have my sketch, and then I have my paper on top, and the light shines up from underneath. I have not been able to use that for years because this table has become the junk table for a long time now. So I just randomly noticed a pen, and it wasn't hidden or anything. It was just sitting there, and for some reason it caught my eye. Probably because I've been looking at all these pens. That was a fun aside. All right, let's work on this some more. I'm going to switch. This can go up top. So, like I did with the bees, I'm going to ink from biggest to smallest. Man, this has got to be the most amount of margin marks I've made on any of these pieces yet. Oh, you can't see because I'm zoomed in. Look at it. It's all on the side, up here, over here. This is where I was trying to get my smallest brush pen to work. I'm going to use it some more to figure out what size I want for my biggest. I'm going to start with 8. Let's see. It's actually not as big as I thought it would be. Let's go up to a 12. Oh, what the heck. Let's go up to a 1. Okay, 1 is too big. Well, look over here at this. Oh, you can't see it. Here, I'll put the tertiary camera so you can... When I see how big this line, and then I look at where that line would be fitting in, it would be taking up way too much space. So let's go down to 12. It's not much smaller. All right, so hopefully 10 is the magic number because 8 seemed too small. The 8 is a much older pen too. I can tell because the top is really worn off. Look at that. You can barely tell what it says. If it'll focus there. You can barely tell it's so worn off, so it might be making a thinner line just because it's running out of ink. Still seems a bit big. Okay, I gotta get my gotta get my pen storage case out again. I'm gonna see if there's a bigger 8. A bigger 8. A newer 8 so that it has a bolder line. So I think the one I currently have is running out of ink, so it's not making as big a line as it used to. If I don't have one, I might actually go back. Oh, look, I do. Hooray! Oh, and the 08 on it is... Whoops. 08 is beautiful and legible. Hooray, I did have one. Probably came from that big collection that I bought that had those sizes I'd never had before in it. Excellent. So I'll probably put my old 08 into my regular writing pen storage, and then that way it's still got ink, but it's not making the right size line, so it's going to become a writing pen instead of an art pen. So I need a little bit more consistency from my art pens. Alright, so let's test the new one. This was the old one. Let's see if I can get this camera to really... I'll do it right next to it. Oh yeah, the old one is just super dry. That's why it's making such a small line. So we'll take this out and we'll just put it in the writing pen section on my desk. I have a nice pen caddy over here, so it's in there with the rest. So this I will put Pigma 08 so I know what I'm using. And also I can reference it if I want to come back to this pen later. Oh man, I might have to sneeze, so I'm going to mute my mic. Well, I didn't sneeze. I sniffed a bunch so that hopefully the sneeze goes away. Just all of a sudden it was, you know how sneezes are. Okay, flower time. Just gonna turn it the other way around. It'll be easier on me to ink this direction. It's really hard to choose where to start though. Just gotta pick a spot and start. don't know if you're hearing it, but Aoife's having a dream. She's breathing fairly hard and her feet are going shoop, 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 shoop. She must be running in her dream. This is another one of those meditative sections. There's not too much to think about, just follow the lines, ink them. I think once I finished all the trumpet flowers, these long tubes and these little circles in the middle, I'm going to do with a different size pen. I'm going to use a smaller pen for them. "15 minutes, so break time." inking stuff like this, even though it's not as mentally taxing. It's still tiring in a different way. Yeah, for one, it's a little more tiresome on your hand, drawing so many little teeny tiny lines. But it's also tough to stay focused. Sometimes even it's tough to keep your eyes physically focused on the page. So sometimes I have to blink a bunch of times to get my eyes to refocus. Last little section left. Oh, the trumpet flower part of this complicated flower. Okay. Let's see what an 05 looks like in comparison. Stop falling down, please, paper. Alright, that looks good. So we'll put 05. I'm going to use this for the really long middle parts of the flowers that's sticking out along the edges. And those circles in the center. The outside parts are done. I think maybe I'll actually go a step smaller for the inside. So the flower is very bold already. We don't need any extra help there. So I'll move down to the 0.3 and I'll just mark it on the margin so that I can have that comparison. So that when I'm picking sizes for future flowers, I already have an example of how big it looks. And many of these have this little star shape. I'm going to do that with a super teeny tiny marker. Not marker, pen. There's so many of these. Just keep working at it, keep working through it. Ooh-wee. Maybe another one here. Let's go to the teeny tiny itty bitty. 0.3. I think that's all the ones that I put stars in. With the blue pencil. Oh goodness. This is a good time to take our first break, well, our only break of the stream. Oh, I hit my clipboard. That's what that noise was. And then that zipper sound is the camera going up. If I let go of the button early, it makes that sort of zipper sound as I raise the camera. All right, so I finished that huge flower, and it's just about break time. So let's just go ahead and take a break. What did I say before? Let's get stretched and refreshed. I like that, rhymes. Let's get stretched and refreshed, everyone. I'm gonna put my be right back sign on, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes. everyone, I'm back. I am all stretched out, and actually I used a roller massager on my trapezius muscles. Well, the top parts that connect to my neck. That's been bothering me today, so I am really ready to continue inking. So I've got to think about the heights of these flowers and also the delicate nature, because there's a few of these that are meant to be wispy spent flowers, and those should definitely have lighter lines just to add to that wispiness. So it seems like either this one or this one should be the next biggest flower and or closest to the viewer. So I'll just use the same size on both of them. Definitely don't want to go as big as this, because this is the closest biggest flower. So let's use a 5. I like that step down from 8 to 5. So let's use the 5. Yeah. Trapezius muscles absolutely hate modern human living. It's true. It's because the way we live is so unnatural. Even this is so unnatural. What I'm doing is not very natural at all. Live streaming, even creating art in this way, not natural. So, yeah, the chair I'm sitting in and everything. They haven't been bothering me too much in recent years, but for some reason today it's especially like, ugh. I think it's probably because of my workouts this week. So I think I worked out the muscles. It's not like it used to be for me. It used to be from sitting too much at that ridiculous job I had where I sat for 10 to 12 hours a day. And I was just chronically aching. But it still happens sometimes. This time I think it's due to exercising. So that's actually a good kind of sore. Exercise sore. And I love the massage roller. I had to go upstairs to go find it. I haven't needed it in so long. It was buried under a bunch of other stuff. But I love it. It's a really flexible, it's like kind of like a snake, and it has all these balls on it, and then they rotate. And then it's got 2 handles on each end. It's way longer than what I'm showing you here, but to have my hands on the screen so that you can see, and you just roll it across your shoulder like this, or across your back like this, or on your leg. It's really, really good. Your intense level of concentration. That's definitely what it was. I could feel it being like, ugh. So I think it was already, my muscles were already a little bit compromised from my workout, and then sitting here and focusing so hard on these teeny tiny itty bitty lines. Hoo-wee! They're just so small. I'm doing my best to give all these really long ones a nice round tip, because that's what it looked like in the flowers, not like a sharp knife or a needle. They have this elegant round tip to them. Soft and gentle. So I'm trying extra hard to create that effect as I'm inking. This is going to be another quiet stream. So it really is just about focusing and line by line inking the whole image. So I'm not even looking at chat as often as I usually do because I've got to keep my eye on the page for these really small, precise lines. I'm actually going to change my workstation up for a second because I keep bumping into my lovely little hamburger mobile SpongeBob, but I actually don't need him anymore. He's been holding this up so that it doesn't fall down, but I don't need to reference this anymore. I have decided. So I actually could have taken this down yesterday. I only just realized that, and then that opens up more space up here for me to turn this around and not keep bumping it into things. So just set that to the side for now. There, and now we can turn this. Yay, and it doesn't bump into stuff. And let's turn this all the way around the other way. For this final section. You're hearing little snoozy grunts. That's Aoife. I think she's having another dream. Another one done. Hooray! Moving up to this one in the middle. Let's see, I think this direction would be really nice for pretty much the whole thing. Hope so anyway. My hands are going to be very tired after this. It's very intense. I'm already starting to feel the fatigue. But tomorrow is a completely different thing. I love being able to set my own schedule because then I can give myself a break like that and it's just planned. Because tomorrow is Chibi Friday, so it'll be a completely different way of working. Different projects so my brain can get some new ideas for this and be refreshed for when I come back to it. I think that's all. Oh, nope, there's a little bit. I forgot right here. I might actually remove some of these lines that I added in here because I forgot that I wanted there to be we'll figure it out when we do the coloring. That's good enough for now for this flower. Oh, my hand is so tired and there's still so much more time left. I gotta keep going. Once again, this is one of the benefits of live streaming, so that I can't so easily make excuses. If I was just working on my own and not sharing this with others, I'm sure I'd come up with some excuse to be like, oh, my hand is too sore, my shoulders are too sore, and then I'd go take a break and not work on it for who knows however long. Not anymore. I'm really good at sticking to it, even though my brain says, no, I don't want to anymore. I'm only working on this 2 hours a day, 2 times a week. That's not that much. Okay, I think the next smallest flower is this one. Even though it's a very sparse flower. So I got out the 03, which is the next step down from 05. There's nothing in between. Or at least not that I have. So do this flower. And maybe this one too. And this one. Yeah. Let's do all 3 of these with the 03. When I first was getting ready today for this live stream, I was like, wow, there's not that much left to do before I can digitize. The ink is almost done. And here I am, over an hour later, after starting the stream. I hope I can finish this today, because I really wanted to. But it is more important to me to do it right than to do it quickly. I know I talk about it a lot, but that is the opposite of what it seems like the illustration industry in general is asking for. It seems like illustration in general, people want it done fast, even if you cut corners. And that's not what I'm interested in. So even though it takes me a while, I'm happy to do things the slow and steady way and be an art turtle. Yes, I am a proud art turtle. Alright, hold on a second. I want to put some chapstick on. Guess I'll have a drink of water first, too. I'm going to use my lovely Maneki Deco my friend gave me. Maneki Deco lip balm. Oh yeah, it's cherry blossom and lychee. Yep, lychee and cherry blossom. Scented / flavored. It's quite nice. Of course, I love all of this brand. Crazy Rumors, they have all of the best lip balm flavors. The first one I ever tried was Orange Dreamsicle. So good. After that I went crazy and I was like, I'm going to buy every single flavor I can find. And so now I still have so many lip balms. I am good for lip balms for like the next couple of years. other one done. I think I decided that this was the other one of this size. This size line I was going to use. I'm thinking maybe this little tiny sliver in the corner should also be. So let's do that one real quick. Because it's small, so it feels psychologically satisfying to tackle something a little easier for a second. Okay, teeny tiny itty bitty sliver of flour done. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sarah, for the cheer, the vote of confidence. It is really tough, this part. Completely different kind of tough than getting these blue lines on. Getting them inked is a totally different experience. Still difficult. I think it's looking really nice the more I get done. So every once in a while, taking a second to look at what I've accomplished does help with charging up the motivation. Mostly it's just about keeping on. Just keep on. Oops, I bumped my little pen case. Pen caddy. Tomorrow I'm starting a whole new chibi too. It's not going to be yours yet, Sarah, because I looked at my list and I have Xy's 24-month thank you chibi. So that's what I'll be doing next. It's next on the list. And it's going to be so fun because Xy always picks characters that are my favorite characters too. So these thank you chibis also end up doubling as purely fan art for me. So I'm really looking forward to that. You're not too far down. I think you are actually after that. And then I put myself on the list. So I've got Xy, then 2 chibis for you. Then I have 2 chibis for myself. And then I have a birthday chibi for one of my friends whose birthday was this. Was it this week? No, I sent it this week, but I was late. It was this month, though. His birthday was this month. So the chibi list is getting really big. I'm actually starting to reduce how many of these chibi gift certificates I send out as presents because I realize that when people actually redeem them, I don't have enough time. Because each chibi tends to take between 2 and 4 sessions. I only do one session a week, and there's only 52 weeks in the year. So I realized I need to be a little bit more judicious about sending them out as presents, because I just don't have time for how many people I was sending them out to, and almost nobody was redeeming them at first. And then a few people got interested, and now I've been sending them out for 4 or 5 years, and people are a lot more interested in them, and they're redeeming them, and my list is getting longer and longer, and I'm getting worried. Not imminently worried, the list looks fine right now, but just feeling cautious about the future, so that I don't get myself into a situation where people are waiting years to finally get their birthday chibi or their thank you chibi. Adding myself on the list. One is just sort of present to myself, something I've been wanting to do for a while. But another one is actually for Twitch. My next subscriber badge slot opened up in November, and I haven't had time to do anything to fill it. So I put that on the list. I'm going to do a chibi hot pepper because I'm doing all favorite foods, and I love spicy stuff. So the next subscriber badge is going to be a chibi hot pepper. Right, moving down. I think that's all the flowers of that size. Well, this size of pen that I want to do. Let's see what the O2 looks like. I might use O2 for this spent flower. That is about the same size as the ones I've been doing, but I wanted a lighter line for it to help show that wispy softness. I know you do. Oh wait, you're telling me? You do too. Yeah, there is multiple meanings. That's funny. Well, I meant food, but I can't. I don't know. I actually like fluff more than spice. So my otome games that I like are mostly fluff games. I love the fluff. Oh, wow, this O2 must be newer than the O3 because it's actually making a thicker line. It depends though. Some of it is coming out thicker and some of it is coming out thinner. And definitely when I wrote O2 with it, it was thinner than the O3 I wrote with the O3, so I'll just use it. Go ahead and use it for this fluffy schmoopies. The schmoopies. Yeah, I love the fluff. I love the fluff stuff. I like spicy food and fluffy romance. Yes, that describes it well. Spicy food and fluffy romance. Now, I understand why you said that I'm more spicy, because back in the day, back in my fan fiction reading days now, you're definitely right. But as I've grown, my tastes have changed. I don't even read fan fiction, period. Not because I don't like it, I just don't have time. It's such a time-consuming thing, hobby. Especially because fan fiction is like, is it going to be good? Am I going to spend 2 hours and realize that it's not ever going to go anywhere? Or, you know. There are some pretty spicy scenes in some of the otome games I play, though. I will not deny that. I don't buy them for that, but I'm not complaining either. But if that was all it was, it would get boring. I think it would get boring for me. I think that's the biggest thing, is that I've had enough of that kind of spicy stuff in my teens and 20s. And I didn't really go for romantic fluff back then. Or ever. Until I discovered otome games and I was like, oh, it can be awesome. Especially the adventure ones. I love the adventure fantasy ones. Those are the best. One of the new ones I've started seems to be more of a slice of life type, or at least it's a just really realistic situation. It's called Sympathy Kiss, and it's you are a programmer working for an app developer, and then you're put on this team to revive an app that is like dying. Even though it's a flagship app for the company, it's doing terribly. And so you're put on this team with a bunch of other developers. And of course, they're all dudes. Oh, they've got one girlfriend. You've got one girlfriend, but they're all dudes because they're all the love interest. And then you're supposed to try to save the company, I guess, by revitalizing this app. But I haven't gotten very far in the story, so I don't know very much, and I'm not really saying any spoilers. This is all on the cover of the game, like the case, so no spoilers here, but this is definitely different from what my favorite ones are like. I'm not saying I won't like it, but it's just not like instant love because it's not a fantasy world. So whenever I'm in a fantasy world, I'm like, yeah, I just love it for the world. Like, this is awesome. One of my favorite series of all time, which I'm pretty sure I sent you because I love it so much, is Code Realized, and it's a kind of steampunk world. And I didn't really care about steampunk before that, but being in that world with those characters, I was like, yes, this is awesome. I love it so much. I think everybody else does too, because it has 2 fan discs. It's got the main game and then 2 fan discs after that. Alrighty. I got the nice fluffy flower. I did my best to use a very light hand to make thin wispy lines. So now I'm looking for what is the next flower to ink with this, as far as relative size, and I'm thinking this one, oh, you can't see it because it's too close. this one, and maybe this one too. Oh, I guess this closed one. It's about the same circle size. So 1, 2, 3, 4 using this pen. Or maybe these two as well. Okay, let's start. So much left to do. I might not be able to get this completely finished today. There's only 15 minutes left. But I'll do what I can and accept what I can't get done. It's fine. Nothing else, no one can say that I haven't been working. I've been working, I've been on task. I'm chatting a little bit, but it's nice to have a break sometimes. I'm not a machine. I've actually been chatting way less than usual, so I'm getting more work done. This one's hard. This one is hard to ink. I inked a line over another line that I didn't mean to, so I'm going to have to fix that later. I inked a little bit too far. But that's good enough. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving on. I think I said this one too. Yay, another one done. One by one, they are completed. That was really hard to ink. It's hard to tell what it's supposed to be. I'm going to do this one as well. Nine minutes. See how far we can get on this flower. Fold it in half because it's easier to move since I'm not working along that middle line anymore. did it. I did it. I want this one to look like it's a lot lower, so I'm not going to ink this one. Let's go up to this last that I decided would be this size. Oh, it's really hard to tell what I was trying to do in this section. It's kind of muddled. Well, I'll just do my best to decode it. That's weird. I only just got my 10-minute warning. And there's 3 minutes left of the stream, so that's weird. Wonder why it was so delayed. Well, there's a few more flowers left, so I think I'm going to stop just a tiny bit early today because there's nothing else I want to do with the O2. I want to go down to O1 for the rest, or at least most of the rest. I might use a really teeny tiny pen for this one. So let's call it good here. I guess while the camera's down, I'll give you a close-up look, and then I'll pull the camera up for the wide angle, wide view, full view of how far we got. I was really hoping to finish this today, but we couldn't, and that's okay. So there is a lot of inking to do. A lot of inking that has been done. And then there's so much more still left to do in Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint once we get this digitized. But it'll all be worth it once it's finished because these are some of my favorite pieces. I love this series. So here's the camera all the way up. zoomed way out. Yay! And I really like, so I'm actually looking at my camera over here, not my camera, I'm looking at the screen over here. And I can see the pattern that I was trying to make an organic pattern, not too repetitious, but just feels like it was naturally created. And I love it. And I love the groupings that we've got. And then the negative space feels real good too. So these white areas, there's nothing. Of course, here and here, there's going to be a speech bubble. Aw, thank you. I did make so much progress and I didn't slack off. So even though I couldn't finish, I can't be disappointed because I did the best I could. I might work on it just a little bit off stream because I really do want to send the finished ink as rewards. But we'll see. I might just scan this and send it with the blue. See if that prints. But I'll think about it. For now, let's call it good here. It looks like it's just me and you, Sarah. So let's just end the stream. No rating today. Go relax and do whatever we're going to do with our rest of our day. I'll be back tomorrow with Chibi Friday. Like I said, going to start a thank you / fan art chibi. So I hope to see you then. And even if not, let me wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for watching.